it's pretty safe to say. God give it, God take it away. It's the worldwide American way. I'm living.
What's going on, team? Proof here, and today I'm coming at you with the latest card that was revealed for us during Card of the Day, and it's a new Forerunner for us, and his name is Prospective Starkey, and his skill says auto Forerunner, of course, charge and continuous on rear guard. If this unit is charging, all your charging units get plus 2000 power, and this unit gets auto when this unit is put into your deck from rear guard circle, counter charge 1. So the first thing I noticed is that we finally have ourselves a charge Forerunner, which is really cool, just because we can call it out from the deck, we can make use of it, tuck it back to the deck, and then reuse it later as well. So that's really fun. And he's also not generation break restricted. So if we call it out through Deli Dan or Deli Mason. However, even though he doesn't have a GB1 restricted ability, his ability is limited to charging units. So that means they need to be charging, so they need to be called out or forced into charge through other means. And the most usual way for us to do that is during our stride turns anyway. So they put it in there, but then it largely doesn't matter because we can't have multiple units charging until we already at generation break 1 at the very minimum. So take for that what you will. As for his skill, I'm gonna talk about the power portion of it first. The 2000 power boost largely doesn't matter, just because, well, it matters to 9K units and units that are 9K and then gain increments of 5 or 10. So for Mayhem Tiger, he become 11K. Heave Wheeze while charging can become a 21K. Prompt Cheetah while charging can become a 16K. So for units like those that are 9K already, it matters more to them. But largely, it is largely negligible. Largely, it doesn't really matter, just because it doesn't break new shield value for most of our charge units. So for that, it's kind of because that was the same issue we had with Tiger Centurion, is that we could have a unit that was charging and a unit that gained the plus 2K power boost behind it, but it still wouldn't break new shield value targets for us. Like it'd be a 9K boosted by a 9K, which is 16 or 18, which doesn't matter unless you're against a cross ride, but those have been phased out for a long time now. And that's mainly the thing I want to talk about for the power boost game. But his counter charge option is really good, because we can use it to tuck it back to the deck, counter charge, get a refund from the likes of Agrius for Great Star. However, I would have been much happier if it was on place as opposed to when it returns back to the deck, because it gives you so much combo potential with Agrius, because you can bind it and then call it back out. And then if you call a Starkey and a Great Star in the same column, you can counter charge with Starkey, and then you can use the on place of a rear guard Great Star to then get another unit back out. So for one counter blast, you could just have multiple filled up columns for the rest of that turn. And that'd have been really cool. However, that's not what he is. But as for what he is, it is still really useful. So we can still make use of it through the context of our deck with the Miracle Aces, with Picaros, things like that. And I can definitely see it being main decked, because we're more used to having multiple grade zeros in our multiple non-trigger grade zeros, thanks to the Crazy 8 model. However, he'll be fighting for space in that main deck slot with extra Mecha Trainers, because Mecha Trainer is still going to be Forerunner to me, just because his utility is second to none and tied with Conroe. Because we can get our PGs, which is now our Cunning Brains, and we talked about how useful he is. We can get our heals for G-Guards, we can get Frog Raiders, things like that. Just the utility of Mech Trainer is really good to where it won't be replaced as Forerunner. However, in terms of that main deck space, it'll be fighting for extra Mecha Trainers if it's a Crazy 8 model deck, or for the likes of now, surprisingly, Mecha Analyzer. Because thanks to the combo we talked about with Agrius and Prompt Cheetah, Mecha Analyzer included in that makes for a really nice first dry turn if you have a Frog Raider, because you can bind the Cheetah, call it back, you can bind it with Agrius, and then you can call it back, and then before your turn's over, you can shove the Mecha Analyzer into the Soul after your other charged unit returns back to the deck, bind the Cheetah, and then you can call it back out and get one more 26k attack off of it before you end your turn. So in terms of that, it's just going to be fighting for space, and it's going to be really interesting to see that if it can make the cut, because that countercharge option could potentially replace Double Watch in some people's decks, to where it can streamline the trigger lineup to be more crits and more draws, so you don't have to make that 2-space commitment for Double Watch every single build. So for that little niche that it carved out, it might make the cut for people in their main deck. So it'll be really fun to see what happens with it, and I want to give it a shot as well, just because I want to test all these and give you guys more information about them. And yeah, that'll do it for me. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about with Starkey here. So let me know what you think of them down below, and I'm excited to test these cards out when they finally make their way over to CFA, or when I can proxy them and get a chance to play test them. So look out for more. That'll do it for me. I'm adding this to the playlist as well, so you can check all those out that I've reviewed so far. And until next time, peace, be easy.